Hello everyone, welcome to the final episode of America's Nightmare. I'm Kristen Welker, and I will cut a bitch. To my left is President Donald Trump.
Hunter Biden, China, Russia, excuse me.
And to my right, former Vice President Joe Biden.
I'm like Popeye, because my body is made of old spinach.
President Trump, over 200,000 people have died of COVID-19. How do you think you handled this crisis?
Look, I had the Chinese zombie virus and I had a fantastic time. I'm immune now. Some of these doctors even say I'm immortal. I could live 200, 300 years in the future. These doctors don't even know how long I could live. 200,000 people died, okay? But they were saying 200 billion people were gonna die. This could have been worse than the dinosaurs. I prevented a mass extinction.
You know, 200,000 people have died, and he's responsible for that. He's responsible for every person that's ever died ever. Every insect that's ever gone night-night is because of him. I go outside, I look at the leaves on the trees, and all the leaves are dying. And when I was in office, we kept the leaves alive. Now, if we want to get out of this, we got to start wearing masks. And we got to put the masks in our mouths.
But you don't talk about what I've done. I gave them masks, goggles, fins, snorkels. I mean, everybody's scuba diving now. It's fantastic. And we have two companies making the vaccines right now. We have Toys R Us and Applebee's. They're going to be serving the vaccines with very spicy buffalo wings.
What do you say about people who won't take the vaccine?
For people who don't want to take a vaccine, we're going to take all the needles and hide them in their beds. And if that doesn't work, we'll take the needles, we'll put them in their little flippy floppies. So when they walk around, they'll get little pokes in their footsies. And if that doesn't work, then I promise I'll sneak up behind every American and I'll give them a little poke. Because every American deserves a little pokey from Uncle Joey.
We have to move on to the next topic. I'd like to remind each candidate that it's important not to provide specific answers, but instead attack each other's character like senile old men fighting over a pudding cup.
I love pudding.
He's a politician. He doesn't want you to have any pudding. He'll take all your pudding away. Where was the pudding when you were in office, Joe? You had 8 years to distribute pudding. Where was the pudding?
We were just starting to roll out the pudding plan.
You want pudding, you vote for Donald Trump.
President Trump, let's talk taxes. You pay less taxes than a Pizza Hut delivery driver.
Look, I've been paying my taxes since I was the smallest fetus you've ever seen. I prepay my taxes. I buy them in bulk at Costco. I get the early bird discount. You should ask Joe about the early bird discount. He's very old.
That's a lie.
You want to talk about money? You should ask him about his son and the money they get overseas. They suck it up like a vacuum.
Look, that's a lie. Just because my family was overseas making money doesn't mean they made money overseas. The only time I ever made money overseas is when I was a boy, traveling the ancient seas, trading salts for camel hide.
Why don't you ask him about Hunter Biden and the laptop from hell? It's Satan's laptop.
Oh, that's malarkey. This is all Russian disinformation. That computer is Russian. That's not even my son. That's just two little Russian men standing on top of each other.
Let's talk race. And I do expect both of you to fuck this up.
I've done more for black people than Abraham Lincoln. I've done more than Tupac. Some people are calling me 3-Pac. And I remember when I first heard of Black Lives Matter, I was walking around and they were grabbing police officers, wrapping them in blankets and putting them in ovens, calling them pigs in blankets. Then they'd take them out and serve them as little tiny tasty treats at children's birthday parties. It was disgusting.
You know, let me tell you a story. I remember when I was first coming to this country on the Mayflower, I met a little black boy named Tonto. He was tending to the horses by the creekside, and all the little village people were baking their bread. And little Tonto came up to me, and he said, "Uncle Joey, I want you to help my people." And I said, "Tonto, I promise that one day I'll be a politician, and I will do absolutely nothing for 47 years, until one day, when I'm on death's door, knocking on death's door, I'll run for president and I'll try to change everything overnight." And then I remember there was a little skirmish down by the fire, and Tonto got swept up in the wind, and I never saw little Tonto again. But I promised him that I'll make life a goody-goody time.
You know, he talks about equality, but look what he's done with immigration. It's terrible.
Oh, come on. You put kids in cages.
But you built the cages.
Yeah, we built the cages for the kiddies, but he put the kiddies in the cages.
You were vice president for 8 years. You never put the kids in cages, so I had to do it.
But I promise when I'm president, we're going to make those cages bigger and better. We're gonna put a big wheel in the cage so all the kitties can run inside like a little kitty hamster and have exercise.
Look, we both have terrible answers for
We
this.
both have bad answers to this question.
Look, I ended catch and release. That was Obama's program.
Catch and release would have worked if we had did it right. We're supposed to catch immigrants at the border with a fishing rod, reel them in, and then if they're under 12 inches, we set them free.
We know the climate is changing. We also know both of you are dying. So how will you help our climate in a way that you will not even live to see?
We have the best air, we have the best water, so clean you can almost drink it. We have the best dirt, so clean you can drink it. And he wants to make the climate yucky. He wants to end fracking and take away American jobs.
Look, I love fracking. I remember when I was a little tadpole, I met a black boy named Frick Frack, and we go fracking all the time. And what did he say? It's frack-a-clock.
Now, final question for each of you. If you are elected, what would you say to the hundreds of millions of people that wished you died of COVID-19?
I would say, we've seen great progress. And if you give me a few more years to collect the final Infinity Stone, I'd snap my fingers and make the universe great again by killing half of all living things.
Look, we need to come together. He sees this country as red and blue, but I don't see red. I don't see blue. I don't see. I got cataracts. We ought to choose science over fiction, hope over fear, butter over cheese, decency, honor, respect, cabbage and toothpicks, poopy napkins and chocolate pudding.
You vote for Joe, he'll give you pudding to China.
We're gonna go fracking for pudding.
Well, that does it for the final presidential debate. I hope tonight shows the tens of undecided voters in this country that perhaps there's one professional, modest person that America deserves as its leader. And that person is me. Good night, everyone.
And Tonto, he got swept up in the wind, and the wind took him away. One day I'll make things goody.
That's so funny.
Trading sea salts for camel hide. Well, the pyramids were being built because I'm old as fuck.